6:30 a.m. Time to go. The world famous Everglades Fishing Company in Everglades City, Florida. Driving into Chokoloskee Island. We put in at the Chokoloskee Island Resort and Marina because this trip had got postponed, and originally we were supposed to launch from the Everglades National Park Gulf Coast Visitor Center. But due to them starting construction April 1st on both the parking lot and the kayak ramp, we had to change plans, which this actually cut about 3.5 miles off of our paddle. You can see the boys getting accustomed to their kayaks. You can still see some old Hurricane Ian damage that knocked out some docks. We passed by the Ted Smallwood store in Chokoloskee, which is on the Florida Registry of Historical Places. Pretty cool stop if you get the chance. About a mile off of Chokoloskee, heading towards the Lopez River. Mile from where we put in. We had just made it across Chokoloskee Bay, which, due to the slight headwind, really took it out of us. So we pulled up on the mangroves and took a break for a few minutes to catch our breaths, have a little snack. We're coming into the north end of the Lopez River, just off of Chokoloskee, heading to the Crooked Creek Chickee. This is the Lopez River, heading south. Still on the Lopez River, about a mile from the Chickee. Here we came up on the Lopez River campsite. We pulled up to stretch our legs and walk around for a minute. Taking it. This is at the Lopez River campsite. Just nose right up on the bank. Small site. It'd be tight to have a tent or something here. It definitely looks like it floods. Cypress knees everywhere. Back in there, you see the outhouse. That's where the boys are. There's a snake, and I'm not walking back in there. These are almost the size of little pens, like 3 of them put together. No entryway. So this trip has been planned, or talked about, for roughly 2 years. And about 2 years ago, we started talking about wanting to come down here to the Everglades and kayak through the Everglades. And about 6 months ago, I said, I'm tired of talking about it. Let's do the thing. So I decided then we were gonna start planning it. So we started planning the trip, and I figured Everglades City, Chokoloskee is only about 70 miles south of where we're from. And it would be an easy 3-day paddle. 3-day, just get out here and relax. But I wanted to fully enjoy it. I wanted to do a cheeky site. I wanted to do a beach site. So that's what we planned on doing. So I started planning it. Got with the Everglades National Park Gulf Coast Visitor Center to help me plan it and get the reservation, everything set up on reservation.org. And I think it's .org. They got everything set up. Then some things happened and we had to postpone the trip. And then we knew our window of opportunity for the 2024 year was coming close. So I said, screw it, we got to get it done. It was going to be me and my 2 teenage boys who right now are back there behind me. One will be 16 next month, one will be 17 the following month. And I figured this would be a great time. We all love to kayak. Let's get out. Let's do the thing. So I started watching YouTube videos on people that go on trips like this, and dude, these guys are spending top dollar on their equipment, which, hey, so be it, but you don't have to. You know, I wanted to show that I could go on a trip like this, bare minimum. You know, do I have everything we need? From doing my research, I believe we do. I don't have top of the line gear. My boat right here is a Perception Pescador 100 Pro. One of my boys has an Ocean Kayak Prowler, and the other one, he has a Tamarack Pro. Right now he's using my wife's Yukon Angler because it's longer and has more storage space to get all of our gear out here. But I think between all the boats, $1,200 maybe, I would not have had a problem bringing my son's Tamarack out here, but it's limited on storage. And coming for 3-day, 2-night trip, 3 people, we kind of need the room. So, which is why we decided to go this way. First night we're gonna stay at the Crooked Creek Chickie up here. We're about 2 miles out, and the second night we're going to come back here across the same bay and go out to Rabbit Key and camp on the beach tomorrow night. Kind of want to do it backwards because here in the back, my kayak and that tote, I have a bundle of firewood so we can have a fire on the beach. Unfortunately, now I need to carry it another night, but so be it. It is what it is. So I want to bring you guys along on our journey to show you that everyday people, you don't need to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to come out here and enjoy this scenery. I mean, I've lived in Southwest Florida for almost 25 years. And I've never come down here to the Everglades. I've been to Everglades City for the Seafood Festival about 15 years ago, but I've never come down here and saw this part. So, bringing you guys along on our journey. Hope you enjoy it. Find it? So those are snake pits then? I'm good. Is it open back there? This is the backside. Should be coming up on the cheeky right around this curve here. Home sweet home for tonight anyway. This is the Crooked Creek Chickie, just off of the Lopez River. Everglades National Park, 10,000 Islands area. Last I checked, tonight we are the only ones that have this site booked. I checked it 3 days ago, but I've heard it is now coming to the end of season. We're technically about 2 weeks out of season, so we will see. Getting our gear unloaded was fairly easy because it seemed to be middle to high tide when we got here. The boat sat pretty close to the floor of the Cheeky, so unloading the insides was pretty easy. Then we decided to set up some chairs and enjoy lunch. The boys wanted to bring some MREs and quick cooking meals on this trip, which I pretty much had no argument with. This one is still my favorite. Chili mac with beef. Chocolate raisin bar.
I don't see no cereal.
Cereal can mean oatmeal. Smells like spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when your MRE military bag gets a hole in it? We saw chicken. Since nobody else had the Cheeky booked for this weekend, we were able to take up both sides, which made it nice to spread out. Made some simple ropes to tie up the kayaks. I wasn't quite sure how to secure them. These definitely worked. 110 on each side, and it was extremely breezy. After paddling most of the morning and getting up at 5, the boys were exhausted by 4:30 in the afternoon and passed out. Here's our little friend I found inside the porta potty on the Cheeky. Surprisingly, this porta potty was extremely clean. Made it very enjoyable for the weekend. Amazing sunset from our Cheeky. Couldn't ask for a better picture.
Is that the trees?
Nope. Low tide this morning. We should be paddling back from the beach. Completely different from the night before. The water was like glass. I'll do it again. He's awake. Even Blaine can't sleep through an air horn. Is that your first time pouring water out of a bottle? Just came out of the Lopez River. Taking a break. Before we hit the bay.
Help me.
Don't pull on the strap. Anything alive?
Yeah.
Tickling. So we are home now. The trip did not go 100% as planned. I spent roughly about 3 weeks putting a list together of everything we need to bring, and I wanted to bring, and we even narrowed it down to what was in each dry bag and which one of the kayaks they were in, so we would all know what was being brought, where everything was going, and who was carrying what. So I'll do another video with it. It would want to be in a 3-page document that I made, but I'd rather need it or have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And we didn't touch half of the stuff we took, but we had it just in case. Now granted, we did have to cut a night off of the trip because when we got to the island resort to put in the concrete boat ramp, and I know I should have led by example better, but I was wearing Crocs, and the boat ramp, because of the area, is covered in green algae. And as we were unloading one of the kayaks, I was lifting it and the Crocs completely slipped on the algae. I fell and busted my ass, and I'll show you. I got a giant bruise from landing on the ground. I also busted up my knee pretty good at the moment, they look pretty good. Sorry. Pause for a second. I'm shooting this whole video with an iPhone, so don't knock my videography out. But so started off the trip in pain quite a bit. Then once we got to the Cheeky, that was our first site. As you heard, we booked everything through recreation.org. They helped book the site. Got to the Cheeky, started unpacking, and I thought I brought 3 total sleeping pads, one for each one of us. Turns out I had 2 sleeping pads and an inflatable pillow. So I said, "Go ahead, boys. You two take the pads. I'll sleep on the other side." With just right on the tent floor, which is on the wooden platform. No big deal for them. Come to find out, the inflatable pillow, as soon as you put a little bit of pressure on it, it deflates. So I used my dry bag full of clothes as my pillow for the night. Threw our dry towels on it to try to give it a little bit of cushion. It wasn't bad, but it was not comfortable by any means. In the morning, I found out from my oldest that his sleeping pad deflated after about 20 minutes. So needless to say, now that we're home, both of those are in the dumpster, ready for trash man tomorrow. So sleeping was horrible the first night. 100% on me. We are not new to this. My oldest son is about 2 months away from getting his Eagle Scout project. We've been kayaking for quite a few years, camping since he was in kindergarten. So we're very well versed in camping and being outdoors and being prepared, which is why I overpacked. And I know that. Also over in here in the garage, me and him both have our backpacks, so we can do ultralight, just backpack trips, and we've done that. But this one being a multi-day trip, and my other son was coming with us, I want to make sure we had what we needed. With that being said, since I filmed all of this on my iPhone, and they were using their phones to also take pictures and play music and everything, enjoy the day. As our phones were getting low, once we got to camp, we started looking, and I had my wife's Halo jump pack with us, and we also brought 3 different battery backups. And at that point, all phones were around 50% from all day long. And we then realized that when we went to go start charging everything, we realized that on Dad's giant itinerary packing list of everything we brought, we had a total of 4 or 5 ways to charge our phones, and not a single cord to plug the phones into said chargers. So right then we put the kibosh to it and said, "Hey, let's stop using the phones for a little while. Turn them on airplane mode. Let's try and save some battery." The weather was perfect. The weather was gorgeous. So we ate dinner, kind of relaxed a little bit, and then decided we'll go to sleep. In the morning we woke up and it was low tide, as you can see in the video. The kayaks were way lower from the dock than they were. So loading them was fun because we had a lot of stuff in the hatches of the boats. What we wound up doing was putting somebody in my boat, and he loaded the other 2 from the water, which worked out okay. Then, because of the way where the Crooked Creek Cheeky is, we'd come about halfway, or almost completely back up the Lopez River to get to Chokoloskee Bay, and that would be where we would take Rabbit Key Pass out to the Gulf to get to the Rabbit Key campsite, which we had booked for night number 2. And with that being said, we eased back, and it was beautiful weather, but there was not really a breeze by any means. So I made the comment, "Man, I really wish there was a breeze. It'd be more like yesterday and be a whole lot more enjoyable." So then all of a sudden the breeze decided it was going to kick up, and when it kicked up good. So we were battling a headwind most of the way. I don't know what the body of water was called, but it was from the north end of the Lopez River up to Chokoloskee Bay. It's a pretty good sized body of water. We were fighting the headwind through there, and it was pretty exhausting, but luckily we kept finding markers that we could pull up to, and we made ropes that tied off of our handles. The ropes you see in the video that we tied the kayaks up with, we used those to tie onto the markers so we could sit and relax for about 10-15 minutes, catch our breath, and drink some water, relax our arms. And we made the call right then. I didn't make the call. I didn't want to be that guy, so I lifted it up to the boys and I said, do we take the pass and we go out to the Gulf and try and deal with the beach site and everything, or do we just call it quits and head towards the truck. And I don't know if they did it out of pity or what, but they came to the conclusion that because of the phones and safety aspect, and here's the one thing I didn't really like is I was using them for my GPS instead of having a separate handheld GPS. I was using my phone. So they said because of the phone battery, we didn't have a way to charge them. We didn't want to get stuck. Let's go ahead and head in. So we sat there for a few minutes and decided we were going to make our way across Chokoloskee Bay back towards the island. Well, the breeze was still there, and it was a hard headwind the entire way across the bay. And no joke, as you see, I have no pictures of it. We were dealing with 1 to 2 foot chop the entire way north across Chokoloskee Bay from the opening up to the south tip of the island. And it took us about 2.5 hours to get across it. And I will not lie, I was nervous. I've been in rough waters before, but just something about that, and not knowing how exhausted everyone was, it was nerve-wracking, as a dad. We finally got across it, and we got probably within about 100 yards offshore, and there was a last buoy or pylon. So we decided, let's tie up there, we'll relax a little bit. And we did, and I'm looking across, and I see what looks kind of like a beach, but it could be a boat ramp at a residence. I'm close enough now, my Google Maps works, and I pull it up, and it is a charter boat captain in his house area, and it's right at the end of this street. And I also look, in that street is only about a 10-minute, that property is only a 10-minute walk from where I parked our truck and trailer. So I said, you know what, if to get to that point, we would still have to go another 3/4 of a mile around the island to get back to the marina where we were, and we're physically exhausted. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. So you know what, let's beeline towards his beach. We'll walk up there, knock on the guy's door, and talk to him and see. He's a charter boat captain. I'm sure he would understand. All of his boats were parked for the day, probably because of the rough sea. Nobody knocked on the door, but what I assume was his wife and daughter pulled up on a boat while we were there. And I said, hey, if you tell me no, we'll get right back in and leave. But do you mind if we leave our kayaks right here on the beach? I'm going to leave my 2 boys here. I'm going to walk, go get our truck and trailer, and come back and load up. So you can see how rough the water is. Absolutely. No problem. Do what you got to do. So we came on land there. I walked about 10 minutes to go get our truck and trailer, came back, loaded it up, and then we headed home. So this morning, it's the next day. Now today's Sunday morning. I went ahead, and because of the way I am, and the boys beat me outside, we completely stripped all the boats, scrubbed them down with Dawn and water to get all the salt water and the gunk and everything off of them before I put them up in the garage and store them until our next trip. And I actually wanted to take and go over our pack out with all the bags and how we had everything, but they got everything busted down this morning. Everything's put away where it's supposed to go. What needs to go in the washing machine is already in the washing machine. And this was before I'd even had my cup of coffee and came outside. So Dad gets to relax while the boats dry off before I come in here and put them on our rack in the garage and store them until next time. But I just wanted to let you guys know we had an amazing trip. If you guys are even thinking about going to the Everglades and making this trip, 100% do it. We got very lucky. Everyone says that the window of perfect weather is November to March. This trip was originally planned for middle March, and the morning we woke up to go, they were calling for 20 to 25 mile an hour winds, and I woke up with a chest cold. So luckily I called it, because I don't know what the winds were yesterday. I know it was nowhere near that. The high was like 77 to 78, 0% chance of rain, like 5% humidity. I live in Florida. I sweat like a pig every day. It was beautiful. The best weather I could have asked for. So I'm really glad we canceled the trip in March when they were calling for the 25 mile an hour winds. There's no way we could have ever done it. And at that time we were planning on going to the Sweetwater Chicky, which was roughly another 10 miles, I believe. I don't know why I thought we could do it in one day. Overzealous, I guess. This was a perfect trip. We made it work. If you guys are thinking about doing it, definitely do it. Like I said, they say that the perfect time is November through March. We did this. This is now the first weekend in April, a little bit after. The weather was perfect. Not a single mosquito. And I get bit going to Walmart. So not a single mosquito. The weather was perfect. As you can see today, nice blue skies, few clouds in the air. Absolutely gorgeous. Do the trip. if you're not in Florida, you don't have access to get to Florida, do a trip where you're at somewhere. Take your kids out. Like I said, we kayak regularly. I'm looking here in my garage. I have 3 other boats in there. These are mine, my oldest son's, and my wife's is the Yukon. So my other son has a Lifetime Tamarack that's in here. My daughter has a little Lifetime Spitfire. They're both the same, different colors. And I also have another Tamarack for my youngest son. So we have a total of 6 kayaks that we use on a regular basis. Get out on the water, enjoy it. It's, if your family likes to be outside, it's relaxing. My 15-year-old, soon to be 16-year-old, the younger one that came with us, he is glad he went on the trip. He enjoyed it. He doesn't want to go again. He prefers the days where we just go out. We go to the backwaters and we just kind of float, play around, do a little bit of light fishing. Nothing crazy. He can get out of the boat. He can splash around. He can use his boat as a stand-up paddleboard. That's what he prefers. My oldest one is already talking about next year, wanting to do more of the Everglades and possibly even doing the Wilderness Waterway, which will be a workout for sure. It's 100 miles from South Florida back up to Everglades City. My wife and I have talked about doing that before. I'm 100% down for it. It will definitely be an adventure that we're looking into. But anytime you can, get out on the water. Our trip didn't go as perfect, but like they called Apollo 13, I consider this a successful failure. We still had a great time. We had lots of laughs. Anytime you can hang out with your kids, laugh, don't treat them like kids. It was 3 dudes hanging out on the water. Absolutely loved it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, this was filmed on my iPhone. Don't give me a hard time. I'm not a videographer, but I enjoy watching these videos, see how other people enjoy their time on the water. I hope you get that out of my video. Thanks.